Hi, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Budget with D, and if this is the first time you're seeing my face, then on this channel we talk all things cash stuffing, budgeting and small business related. So if any of that sounds like your cup of tea, definitely hit the subscribe button. It's no secret that I am a great lover of the cash stuffing method, and in this video I kind of wanted to share my experience and my thoughts on cash stuffing, as well as kind of explain what it is and why I personally think that you should give it a try if you haven't already. Cash stuffing is definitely a huge trend right now on social media, with over 850 million TikToks being made about the subject so far. So what is cash stuffing? Google describes cash stuffing as, quite simply, the method involves putting cash into allocated envelopes or different categories. It's based on an accounting concept known as zero-based allocating budget. Many who use cash stuffing feel more in control of their spending, which serves a reminder that money you have is real fun. I feel like that sums it up quite nicely. Before we even actually get into like the meat of the video, I am not a financial advisor. I am not a financial guru. I am simply a stay-at-home mum that struggled to make ends meet, and I really struggled getting from paycheck to paycheck, and money was just never on my side. So yeah, when I discovered cash stuffing, it hugely changed my life. So I am really passionate about it, and I kind of just want to share my experience, and I want to share it with other people in hopes that maybe we can inspire at least one or two other people. So if I show you my essentials binder, which you can see in my previous videos, I've done a cash stuffing recently. These are also done in priority basis. So the first one on here is weekly food shop, and in here we have £400 a month, and then gas and electric I typically do about £100 for every 2 weeks or so, and then for little man's essentials I try to do about 40 a month, I believe. And for the cat we also do about 40 a month. Personal usually gets about 30 every 2 weeks, so that would be about £60 a month. Home upgrades, that's a new one that I've added in there. It's what I can afford as and when. And then also family time. So yeah, I started posting on TikTok about it about 6 months ago, maybe a bit over 6 months ago now. A lot of the videos gained quite a lot of traction, and luckily we built up a nice little family over there where we all just kind of encourage each other and track each other's progress, and we're all just rooting for each other. Just really nice, honestly. Simply put, it's literally you sit down, you work out your money and your budgets, and you create these budgets so that all of your essentials are covered, as well as everything or anything that you may want to save throughout the year. And then you put that money into different envelopes, put it aside, and use that as and when you need it, depending on what it's budgeted for. Personally, I think there are a plethora of benefits to cash stuffing. Obviously there are cons, there are pros and cons to everything. That's just how it is, and that's just how life works. But in my personal opinion, the pros outweigh the cons, and that is why I'm sitting here recommending cash stuffing to you. So I want to start off with my journey, how I was before I discovered cash stuffing, what I've learned through doing it, and also the benefits that I have seen personally within my own cash stuffing journey. So starting off with my life before cash stuffing. Main reason that I started cash stuffing, to be honest, was because I was just sick of living paycheck to paycheck. And for me, that doesn't necessarily mean the wages that I was being paid. My problem was that my money wouldn't last a month, and that wasn't necessarily because I wasn't getting paid enough. I was only part-time because, like I said, my son at the time was about 1.5 years. So yeah, I was only working about 15 hours a week, and there just wasn't much money. You know, between me and my partner there wasn't that much, after bills and everything especially. And I have always been someone that has personally been quite afraid of the term budgeting, just because it sounds so fancy, I guess. I don't know, maybe I've just built it up in my head, but there was some sort of mental block there, I think, and my mind was just like, no, get away from me. I think I was getting about between 650 to 800 depending on just how many hours I work, because every now and again I would do overtime. Now it's a different story because I'm self-employed, luckily. Another thing that I think is really important to touch on is that at the time I had like a lack mentality. That's the only way I can really describe it. I was just in this constant state of thinking that
I never have enough money, I don't have enough money, I'm not making enough money, money doesn't last me.
Just negative emotions and just negative thoughts about cash stuffing. Well, not cash stuffing, but just money in general. And in my mind, I was certain that I was somebody that could not save. Do you know how many times from maybe when I was like 17 up until when I actually started cash stuffing, I would sit down every now and again and I would work out, if I was to save £20 a month for a whole year, or for 2 years, 3 years, this is how much I would save. Or if I was to put away £30 every, things like that. I would work it out and I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And I'd do it for maybe 1 or 2 months, and then I would spend it and then just never actually follow through with it. I don't know why. If the money is digital, I just spend it. I don't know why. There are too many temptations online, maybe that's what it is. If the money's not in the account, you can't spend it online on random crap that you want to get like in the middle of the night. Which leads me on to my next point, that I used to just leave all of my money in my account, not organise it, not budget it, not do anything, and I would literally just go and do my shopping and just pray and hope that I had enough to get everything that I needed as and when I needed throughout the month. So needless to say, this caused me quite a lot of anxiety. I feel like when you're a parent especially, and you have a little child to look after, these feelings especially get heightened, and I suffer with mental health as it is. I've been quite open with that, but I feel like financial stress was a huge burden on my mental health, because I always knew that come week 2, week 3 after being paid, I would have nothing, and then I would just have to stretch until the end of the month somehow. So now let's move on to what I've actually learned from cash stuffing over the last 6 or 7 months. The main thing that I have learned, which has been the most beneficial thing out of all of this, is that I have finally learned how to budget my money. And since I started doing cash stuffing, literally since the first month of doing cash stuffing, my money has lasted me until the end of the month. So no matter how low or how high my wages were, everything was covered. At the very start, when I was still employed doing part-time work, my boyfriend and I split a lot of the essentials just so then we can actually hit everything that was essential. And now that we're in a slightly better position, he covers the bulk of the bills, and then I do all the little ones and the saving throughout the year for like Christmas and all of that stuff. And I am actually meaning to do a video on how to actually start cash stuffing, and that will be a different video to this, because I kind of want to just explain why I think cash stuffing is important. And then maybe in the next video or sometime in the near future, I will do one to actually sit down and show you how you could maybe get started in the steps that you might want to take to actually, you know, get started. Although I do think there is already a lot of information out there on the internet, I don't think I would necessarily bring anything too new to the table. But if that is a video that you would like to see, then please do let me know. Another thing that I have learned is so many different ways to cut costs as much as I personally can on my very own. And I can do an extra video on this as well actually. This includes things like meal planning and also just shopping around as much as I can, literally using up everything that I already have, selling things I don't use anymore, doing boot fairs. Honestly, I can do a whole video, so please do let me know if you want to see that. Now let's move on to the benefits that I've actually seen throughout my journey. So like I said, I started my journey at the end of July last year, and the main thing that I can say is that I have actually since then managed to save money. Every single week, every single month, consistently since then, I have been putting money away bit by bit for all different things, so many different challenges. Like, I am saving so much more than I have ever done in my life, and that's mainly because I've never been able to save anything for more than 2 months. But the fact that I've been doing this over 6 months now, and I'm genuinely enjoying it, like I find it fun, and I find it's therapeutic, it's calming, it's just fun. And I think the difference is as well, when you can actually physically see it and hold it and touch it, you can appreciate it so much more than if it's just sitting in a bank account. But let's get on to how much I was actually able to save from July to November, because I opened up all of my challenges in November so that I could use the money for Christmas. I had 3 main challenges going. I was doing the penny saving challenge, I was doing a weekly leftovers challenge, which is basically I have £100 set every week for my weekly food shop, and whatever doesn't get spent at the end of the week gets put away in an envelope, and that's like an extra saving challenge. And then I was also doing a mystery tin, so I literally just had a tin, and whatever money I had extra I would just put it in. Are you ready for this? Bear in mind, at the time we were living with my boyfriend's parents, so we really wanted to get our own place, so that was on my mind, and that was like a motivating factor for me. So I think if you have a vision in mind as well, you have a goal that you're working towards, that will be really beneficial. Are you ready for this? Right, I'm so proud. For the penny saving challenge, I saved £293.15. For the weekly food shop envelope leftovers, I was able to save £653, and then in my mystery tin, which I still can't believe this, I managed to save £985. So that is a grand total across all of my free savings challenges at £1,931.15. That is wild. Do you know how crazy that felt to sit there and hold that in my hands? I'm telling you, it's the most satisfying feeling ever when you have consistently put in the work, the effort and the time really to just put away 10, 20 pounds, whatever it is, whatever you can afford away, and then at the end of it, it is so rewarding. Like I still cannot believe I managed to save just under £2,000 in like half a year. My mind is blown. Cash stuffing is very personal, so you can't compare your journey to someone else's because finances are very personal. So take every win that you can and do what works for you. A lot of people might not have much money after bills and essentials to put away into savings, but that's why I then urge people to try the weekly envelope challenge with the leftovers that you don't spend. Because even if it's £2, £3, £5 every now and again, it all still adds up after like a year. Do you know what I mean? That's how I see it anyway. Now, if that don't motivate you to give it a try yourself, I don't know what will. I am somebody who has always wanted to save. I've always admired people that can save, but I've just never been able to do it. I've been so bad with my money, and for the first time in my life I can say that I have got a grip on my finances. And do you know how good it feels to say that? I no longer shop impulsively. I mean, sometimes we may slip off the wagon a little bit, but that is okay. That is okay. I'm not gonna kick myself about it. I have a changed mentality now. My anxiety surrounding like my financial health and everything, it's almost completely diminished because I've been able to prove to myself over time, over 6 months, going on 7 months now, I've consistently been able to do this, and I have not struggled to get to the end of the month and still have money left over because I've been very conscious in preparing for that and making sure that everything gets covered. And just that in itself, well, at least in my experience, it done wonders for my mental health. It really did. I am also now prepared for events throughout the year. So for example, I've already started saving for Christmas at the end of the year. Yes, we're still halfway through January. That's fine. That's a great head start. And I cannot wait to get to November and my Christmas fund basically be ready. And to know that I'm not going to have to go into debt or overdraft or use up a catalogue account or something like that. To know that I won't have to rely on something like that, which is what I've had to do in previous years to get people's Christmas presents. Like, that just feels good for me. Like, it just feels like such a huge personal achievement. And maybe it's not the same for everyone, but I'm sure there's maybe 1 or 2 people out there who can relate. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Also, my son's birthday recently went at the beginning of January, and I had reached my goal for how much we wanted to spend for him on his birthday, and it was just really nice to be able to go out and buy his presents and stuff, and once again not have to stress and just enjoy the day with him. And my boyfriend's birthday is coming up in March. I've still got 2 months until his birthday. Well, about 1.5 now actually. And I've already met the target for his birthday. I'm actually over target because I hit the target I think last cash stuffing or the one before. And since then I've just been adding what I can still, so why not? And one of the greatest benefits I have seen since I started cash stuffing is that I can finally spend my money without the added guilt. And I'm sure once again some people might be able to relate to this, but I remember even if I had to buy a new eyebrow product or a new mascara, and they're not always cheap, even the drugstore ones are like £12 sometimes, and that's a lot of money. If I need a couple of things, 2 or 3 things, like it all adds up, do you know what I mean? And £50–60, to some people that might be nothing, but to a lot of people that makes a huge dent in what you have to work with for the whole month. I would know because I've definitely been there myself many times. So to now have a self-care fund where I've got money in there where I can get my nails done if I want, I can get my hair done if I want, I can go buy some makeup if I want. That feels so good because I have prepared over time. I have made the effort to put money in, £10 here, £20 there, depending on what I can afford. Sometimes I don't stuff it. In my last cash stuffing, I didn't put anything in there, but I have money there to use if I want to or when I need to. And when I do need to use it, it's going to be completely guilt-free because I know that I have worked hard to get that. And I know that along the process, every other essential has been also taken care of. Now let's move on to why I think you should try cash stuffing. So these are going to kind of hit on all of the points I've already spoken through the video, but I think the main point to take from this is that cash stuffing can be a huge asset to help you to get to financial stability. I'm not saying that cash stuffing is going to magically turn you into a millionaire. I'm quite lucky in the sense that I've managed to build a business out of cash stuffing, whereby I sell savings trackers, and that is what is bringing in my income. So I'm not saying it can turn you into a millionaire, but I think it can really help you to get a grip of your own finances, and I think it can really help you to understand your finances and to kind of know how much you need for everything and to just be really organised in life when it comes to your money. Do you know what a funny thing is as well? I am a huge fan of Patricia Bright, and I've always loved her channel, The Break. If you don't know, on that channel she talks all things budgeting and finance related, and I always watch that content because I am just so inspired by her. Like, she is such a girl boss, but she has always been very smart with finance, and for time she has been going on about budgeting and working out a budget and all of that stuff. And like I said earlier, I had like this mental block where every time she'd say like you need to have a budget, I'd be like, Cool Patricia, thanks. Moving on. But now I can understand the depth and the value of what she was saying when she meant get a budget. I also think that cash stuffing can have a huge positive impact on your mental health. I think having a good sense of productivity and responsibility, it just helps to take a huge weight off of your shoulders, because you know that you've taken the time. Once again, I've probably said this a million times in this video already, but you've taken the time to do this on a consistent pattern. And even if you've gone off track along the way, that is fine. Do you know what I mean? As long as you're doing what works for you, then that is okay. Finance is personal. Do what works for you. You might even find that it starts to become fun. In my personal case, I started looking for ways to make extra money. I took a load of stuff that we didn't use anymore, and we went to a load of boot fairs last year. We have a massive pile ready to go to boot fairs this year as well, once they start up again and once the weather gets better. Also going through my clothes and selling them on Vinted, Depop, eBay, stuff like that. Also my business, I guess it's kind of like the snowball effect, where you start one thing and then it leads to another and leads to another and leads to another. Same with like the savings challenges. You start with one and you're like, oh, this one's going really well. You might start with the penny saving challenge, and then you're like, okay, that's going really well. Let me try a £5 challenge or a £1, £2 challenge. Whatever is within your budget, whatever works for you, and whatever is within your means. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't all over the place, and I hope that I've been able to get my point across. I also hope that you found this video useful, hearing about my experience with cash stuffing. I hope it's inspired you to give it a try. As we are still in January, I think why not challenge yourself to try cash stuffing this year? You might genuinely surprise yourself, and you might create a lifelong habit that you learn to love and may potentially change your life. I constantly have messages from people telling me that they've started cash stuffing and that they've managed to save so much money already and that they're amazed. And it truly is. It's an amazing, amazing system, and I really hope that more people come to know about it soon. And if you're someone that prefers to use card, that is absolutely fine. Cash stuffing is definitely not for everyone, and I get a lot of comments as well, people telling me,
oh well, if you had a savings account then your savings would grow and blah blah blah.
Maybe, but if I can't save online, then that money's not gonna grow. And with all of that, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you before my throat completely gives out on me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to see more content from me, and I hope you have a lovely day. See you in the next one, I hope. Bye.